The human protagonist arrives on an alien planet known for its elite warriors and deadly competitions. He's there as part of a mission, but he's underestimated by everyone because he's human. The alien woman, a legendary warrior known for never losing a duel, confronts him. Tension rises, her reputation is fearsome, humans are weak in their eyes. The human accepts the challenge, and the audience sees his doubts and determination. Flashbacks show why he came here, to prove that humans can match even the strongest aliens. Suspense builds as the duel begins. The alien woman demonstrates incredible strength and skill. The human dodges, improvises, and uses clever tactics, showing that his intelligence is his weapon. The alien woman honors her promise reluctantly, inviting him to her quarters. The human enters cautiously, expecting danger, but the room is unlike anything he imagined, luxurious, full of alien artifacts, and strangely personal. She opens up about her life, revealing the loneliness and pressure of being the strongest warrior in her society. Dialogue builds suspense. Is she sincere or plotting something? Welcome to my channel Sci-Fi Love Story. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. The human stepped onto the alien world with a mixture of awe and caution. The sky was painted in shades of violet and gold, swelling like liquid fire, and the twin suns cast long, jagged shadows across the rocky landscape. Cities floated above the ground, connected by beams of light that shimmered like energy threads. To the human, it was beautiful, but it was also dangerous. Every eye in the arena, human or alien, would be watching. He had heard the stories. This was not just a planet, it was a proving ground. The strongest warriors from across the galaxy came here, seeking glory and power. And among them, none were more feared than her. The alien woman, tall and imposing, moved with the grace of a predator. Her skin shimmered faintly, shifting colors with her mood. Her eyes glowed amber, piercing through anyone who dared meet her gaze. Her reputation was legendary. No one had ever defeated her in combat. As he stepped forward, the murmurs of the crowd grew louder. The humans who had come here as spectators whispered nervously. He's just a human, they're fragile, he doesn't stand a chance. But the human didn't hear them. He focused on her, the weight of the challenge pressing down on him. She smiled, or at least, what he interpreted as a smile. If you defeat me, human, she said, her voice smooth and commanding, I will share my quarters with you tonight. The crowd gasped. Some laughed, others whispered in shock. Humans and aliens alike knew the stakes. To defeat her was unthinkable. And yet, there he was, nodding his head, accepting her words as a serious wager. The arena itself was massive, suspended high above the ground, encased in a dome of energy that glimmered like glass. No weapon was visible, only the natural environment, jagged rocks, uneven terrain, and scattered platforms suspended in mid-air. This would be a test not just of strength, but of intelligence, agility, and endurance. The alien woman raised her hands, and a circle of glowing energy appeared around the arena. You have 1 hour, she said. Survive. Defeat me. Then, and only then, will your reward be yours. The human felt the tension rise in his chest. He was alone. The air shimmered with energy, and a faint hum resonated from the ground, vibrating through his bones. He could feel her power, strong and unpredictable, pressing down on him even before the fight began. The duel started with a roar, though no one shouted. She moved first, her body a blur as she leapt toward him with incredible speed. Her fists were like striking hammers, aiming for his head and torso. The human ducked, rolled, and barely avoided her first series of attacks. His mind raced. He knew he couldn't match her strength, but humans had their advantages: creativity, adaptability, and unpredictability. He grabbed a jagged rock from the ground and threw it at her, not to hurt her, but to force her into a reaction. She leapt aside effortlessly, her amber eyes flashing with surprise and amusement. Clever, she said, but not enough. For the next several minutes, the duel escalated. She moved with impossible speed, striking and feinting, testing his defenses. He dodged, parried, and used the environment to his advantage, jumping between floating platforms and weaving through rocky terrain. The crowd watched in awe. A human surviving this long? Impossible. Yet here he was. During a brief pause, the human caught his breath and glanced at her. She too seemed to be assessing him, not with anger, but curiosity. The human realized that he wasn't just fighting for victory, he was proving something. He was proving that humans, underestimated for centuries, could think, adapt, and survive. She lunged again, faster this time, her hands forming blades of energy that cut through the air with a hiss. The human barely managed to roll aside, feeling the heat of the energy pass inches from his face. He countered with a leap, grabbing onto one of the floating platforms and swinging to land behind her. "Not bad, human," she said, her voice calm but edged with tension. "You have more courage than I expected." The human grunted, sweat running down his forehead. "I didn't come here to disappoint." Minutes passed, each strike, each dodge, each feint building suspense. The human began noticing patterns. She relied on SP, EED and strength, but he saw her overextend occasionally, leaving small openings. Using every ounce of his agility, he started timing his counters more carefully. Then came the moment. She aimed a devastating strike at his chest, a strike that would have ended the duel instantly for anyone else. The human ducked, rolled, and used her momentum against her. With a swift maneuver, he pushed her off balance, sending her stumbling onto a platform edge. For a heartbeat, time seemed to freeze. The crowd gasped. She looked down at him, surprised, her amber eyes wide. He saw a flicker of emotion. Was it respect? Or disbelief? Before she could recover, he landed a careful but precise strike on her shoulder, not to harm her fatally, but enough to claim victory. She fell to one knee, breathing hard. For a moment, silence filled the arena. The human stood tall, chest heaving, adrenaline coursing through him. He had done the impossible. He had defeated her. The alien woman looked at him, her expression unreadable. Then, slowly, she nodded. "You have won," she said, her voice steady now. "I will honor my word. Tonight, you will come with me." The human felt a surge of triumph, but also unease. Her quarters, what would that even mean? Was it a trap, or had she truly acknowledged his victory? The tension hung in the air, thick and heavy. As the duel concluded, the human took a moment to glance around. The crowd erupted in a mixture of shock and admiration. Whispers spread across the arena. A human defeated her. Impossible. Yet, while the audience celebrated, the human's mind was already racing ahead. He had survived the duel, but this was just the beginning. The alien woman was not just a warrior, she was someone of power, influence, and secrets. And now, he was about to enter her world. A world that no human had ever been allowed to enter. She led him through corridors that shimmered with alien energy, walls etched with symbols he didn't understand, lights pulsing gently as if the structure itself were alive. The air was warm, scented faintly with something sweet and metallic. He felt a mixture of fear and fascination. Every step he took was a step into the unknown. Finally, they arrived at her quarters. The door slid open silently, revealing a space that was at once alien and intimate. Crystal structures glowed softly, casting reflections across the floor. Strange plants swayed gently, suspended in midair. And in the center, a seat that looked like it had been carved from a single piece of translucent stone, shaped to fit her body perfectly. She gestured for him to enter. "Sit if you wish," she said. Her voice lacked its earlier arrogance, replaced with something calmer, almost curious. The human stepped inside, aware that this was not just a victory celebration, it was a test. She was observing him now, studying how he moved, how he reacted. He realized that the duel had been more than just physical, it had been a measure of character. And now, in this intimate setting, the real test began. As he stood there, the human couldn't help but wonder, what did it truly mean to earn a warrior's respect? And more importantly, could he survive what came next? The alien woman sat, her gaze fixed on him. "You have proven yourself, human," she said softly. "But proving yourself is only the beginning. Many will challenge you now, and not all will be fair. Are you ready for that?" He nodded, though his heart pounded. "I have to be. That's why I came here." A faint smile curved her lips, almost imperceptible. "Good, then let us begin." And with that, the human knew one thing for certain. Defeating her had opened a door to something far larger than himself. A door that might change the way the galaxy saw humans forever. The door to her quarters slid shut behind him with a quiet hum. The human paused, letting the alien energy wash over him. It was unlike anything he had ever experienced, warm but electrifying, alive yet strangely soothing. Every surface shimmered faintly, and the crystals embedded in the walls cast dancing light across the room. Floating platforms held strange plants and small creatures that blinked luminescent eyes in his direction. He had expected intimidation, traps, or some kind of test, but not this. The room was more like a sanctuary than a battleground. Yet the air carried tension, a quiet reminder that he was not among equals here. He had proven his strength, yes, but he was still human in a world that had never truly respected humans before. The alien woman sat on her crystalline chair, her body relaxed but her eyes sharp. "You have proven yourself in combat," she said, her voice calm but carrying authority. "Few humans would even survive what you just did. Yet here you stand, breathing, observing, alive." The human nodded. "I learned from every move you made. And I had to." Her amber eyes studied him for a long moment. Then, unexpectedly, she laughed. The sound was soft but carried the power of command. "You were bold, and reckless. But boldness often wins where strength alone fails." He allowed himself a small smile. "I guess that's what humans are good at." Her smile widened slightly. For the first time, she seemed less like an untouchable warrior and more like someone he could understand, though only just barely. "Perhaps," she said, "but now, this is not about strength alone. It is about understanding." The human glanced around the room. There were artifacts everywhere, strange, alien devices he couldn't identify. Some pulsed with energy, others seemed to hold memories. "He cool. Do you feel the weight of her life here, of centuries of battles, victories, and losses?" "This is amazing," he said softly. "Your quarters, they're incredible." She inclined her head. "Incredible, perhaps, but beautiful things often mask loneliness." She leaned forward, her hands clasped together. "I have lived my life proving myself to others, winning duels, commanding respect, yet, in all that time, no one has truly understood me. Until now, perhaps." He felt the weight of her words. She was not just a warrior, she was someone carrying centuries of expectations, isolation, and pressure. "Then maybe," he said slowly, "this is more than just about me winning a duel. Maybe it's about humans showing that we can be more than what others think." Her gaze sharpened, and for a moment, he thought she would dismiss him. But instead, she nodded slowly. "Perhaps. You have done what few have dared to do. And you have survived, not because you are the strongest, but because you are clever, resourceful, and courageous." They stood in silence for a moment, the hum of alien energy filling the room. The human could feel the tension shifting, not hostility, not challenge, but curiosity and, maybe respect. Finally, she spoke again. "I will tell you something, human. What you have done today will change the way others see your kind. You have earned more than a victory. You have earned an opportunity." He frowned slightly. "An opportunity? Yes," she said, rising gracefully from her chair. She began to pace slowly, her movements deliberate and precise. "An opportunity to prove that humans can be more than what the galaxy expects. But opportunities are dangerous. They test not just strength, but morality, intelligence, and resolve." He nodded. "I'm ready. Whatever comes next, I'll face it." Her amber eyes softened. "We shall see. First, you must rest. Combat takes a toll, and the mind must be clear for what lies ahead. But not all rests are safe." She paused, a faint smile curving her lips. "Some rest requires observation, trust, and understanding." The human's pulse quickened. He had expected reward, perhaps celebration, but not this subtle test. He realized that every step in this alien world would challenge him in unexpected ways. And yet, he was ready. He had survived the impossible once. He could do it again. She gestured toward a chamber adjacent to hers. The air shimmered as he stepped through. Inside, he found a space unlike the previous room, simpler, quieter, almost like a personal sanctuary. The walls glowed softly, and floating light spheres hovered, casting gentle illumination. "Sit," she said, "and I will share something with you. Perhaps it will help you understand why humans, despite their fragility, can surprise even the strongest beings in the galaxy." He hesitated, then sat, his mind racing. The alien woman sat opposite him, her posture relaxed but commanding. "When I was young," she began, "I was trained to fight, to survive, to be the best. I never allowed weakness, emotions, or connections. Every duel, every battle, every choice was calculated for victory. And yet, in all that time, I never faced anyone like you." He listened intently, sensing that these words were more than anecdote, they were lessons. "What makes me different?" he asked quietly. "You fight with more than strength," she said. "You fight with thought, with ingenuity, with risk. Humans are underestimated because they are unpredictable. And unpredictability is power." He felt a swell of pride. This was what he had fought for, not just survival, but recognition. So, it wasn't just luck. She shook her head. No, luck favors the prepared. You prepared, adapted, and prevailed. That is why I honor my promise. That is why you are here, in my quarters, not as a prisoner, but as someone who has earned a place, even if temporary, in my world. A silence fell between them, one filled with weighty understanding. The human realized that the duel had been about more than winning. It had been about earning respect, bridging a gap between two species. He had shown that humans were not inferior. They were capable, resilient, and clever. Suddenly, the alien woman's tone shifted, her voice softer, almost intimate. You must know, human, few are invited here. Fewer still earn trust. Tonight is an experiment of sorts. Can a human exist in my world, not just survive but thrive? Can we learn from each other, or will your kind crumble under the weight of what is expected? He met her gaze steadily. I don't know yet, but I will try. That's all anyone can do. Try. For the first time, she laughed, a low, genuine sound. Bold, human, very bold. Perhaps that is what I find fascinating about you. Your species has spirit, and tonight, we will see just how far it goes. The human could feel the air around them shift. There was no threat now, only curiosity and mutual testing. She was observing him, not as an opponent, but as a being trying to understand another. Hours passed. They spoke of alien traditions, human experiences, and philosophies of combat and life. He shared stories of Earth, of humanity's struggles, of the cleverness that had allowed humans to survive against the odds. She shared stories of battles, victories, and losses that spanned centuries. Each revelation built trust, each moment strengthened a fragile bond. By the time the twin suns outside had shifted their positions, the human realized that he had not just survived the duel, he had entered a new realm of understanding. He was no longer just a human in an alien world. He was a representative, a bridge, and perhaps a spark for change. The alien woman leaned back, her amber eyes reflecting a flicker of light. You are remarkable, human. Perhaps there is more to your kind than even I imagined. Perhaps, together, we can change how the galaxy sees them. He nodded, a sense of pride and responsibility filling him. That's all I ever wanted, to show that humans are not weak. That we can stand tall, even among the strongest beings in the galaxy. A faint smile appeared on her lips. Tonight, you have not just earned a reward. You have earned understanding, and perhaps, something more. But that is for tomorrow. He left her quarters at dawn, carrying not just victory, but respect, insight, and the knowledge that humans could stand shoulder to shoulder with the greatest warriors the galaxy had ever known. The duel had been a test, yes, but it had also been a lesson. The strength of a species was not only in its power, but in its courage, intelligence, and spirit. And as the alien woman watched him go, she knew one thing with certainty. This human had changed her world, and perhaps, unknowingly, the fate of many worlds to come. End.